Awesome. So, for those of you just coming in, we're getting started, and Shirley's taking some time off today, so I'll be teaching you, and I have a good class lined up. So, I'll share my screen and we'll jump in.
I just want to let you know that I have an appointment at 1:30, so I'll be leaving the class at 1:30 and then possibly joining back in depending on how long the appointment takes.
Okay, Gwyneth Chish Khan Kinigi. Thank you for sharing with me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Also, our
So-
classmate Dunedin is messaged me to let me know that she's not going to be here with us today. She has a previous appointment that she can't miss. So, passing it
Okay,
on.
awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
We'll give her a pass just for today. Kidding.
People are taking this serious.
Yeah. No, I just started teaching at UAA. I was just telling Kay Watch, and my syllabus is due tomorrow. I just finally wrote it. So I presented it to the class today. I was like, we're doing our contract negotiations, and they all were like, okay. I was like, hey, if there's something comes up for you, it's not sitting right. Now's your time to speak up. So it's fun to make things sound more serious than they are sometimes. Um, yeah, so яг эйх сэтинэлтэй кадюхан ах ту хату де хвалчэго гэнги ацутат ха ах ту яг эйя тахвалгэне ха ах ту лэцин үуч ин лингэт ю гатангишту тулту гонал чиш тлайн хади ади лтакат юхан штугахат тикхнахая. Good to see you guys. I feel a tiny bit tired today, but I also feel good just looking upon your faces. And I feel strong that we're studying Lingit together. Um, and so thank you for coming here today, and I'm grateful for that. I see in the chat someone's been sick lately, their throat's rough, and you're probably gonna avoid speaking, so that's totally fine. Um, Yeah, let's do this. So it's Dagunyagi Ayayayagi Tlekaka Kajin Yawahiadis. Today is the fourth day of the week, and 25 days have passed this month. Before we jump in, are there any questions? And just to let you know, last week your questions about pronunciation and resources, I lined up for our class today. Um, So if you had questions about that on Tuesday, we'll answer them today. But are there any new questions? If you have questions along the way, just don't be shy. You can unmute and let me know or raise your hand or put it in the chat. Sound good? Okay. All right. One of your questions last week was about pronunciation practice. People were wanting to practice the pronunciation and also learn some resources to be able to practice in your own time. And I'll show you those today. But let's start with the vowels. And what I'm going to do, if you haven't gone over vowels yet, basically all vowels will be either short, meaning they're written with one letter and pronounced for a short duration, or they'll be long, meaning they're written with two letters, and the amount of time that your voice carries that sound is longer. So that's what we mean by long. So they can be short or long. They can also be low tone or high tone. And so I'm going to put my cursor on each one and have you repeat after me. Can you see my mouse cursor here?
Uh,
Okay. Okay, so go ahead and unmute your mics and repeat each sound after me, starting with this one.
Uh,
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 Mhm,
uh,
and then high tone,
uh,
uh,
uh, uh, uh,
uh,
and then
eh,
eh,
uh,
and high tone,
eh, eh,
mhm. Short and low,
eh,
eh,
uh,
and high tone eh.
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 Mm-hmm. Uh,
Uh,
Ugh.
and high tone
uh,
These next ones will all be long, so you just let your voice carry it out slightly longer. Um, First one is long and low. Repeat after me. Ah.
Uh.
And high tone. Ah.
Uh.
A.
A.
Eh.
And high tone. A.
Eh.
E.
E.
High tone. E.
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 Ooh.
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 And this underline double O is pronounced like this. Repeat it after me. Oh.
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 And then high tone. Ooh.
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 And oh.
Oh.
Yeah. This underline double O is a unique sound. The only word I know with the sound in it is the clan name Kokhetan. Okay. Um, I'll put this link in the chat for this video, but this is the one we were talking about in our discussion yesterday. It's called An Introduction to Tlingit Sounds, and it's made by Rene Lance Twitchell. He's my language professor from when I was at UAS, and he's my professional mentor. And what I like about this video is that he makes each sound and then pauses so that people have a chance to repeat. And he goes through all of the sounds in Tlingit, but today we're going to focus on vowels, and then we'll revisit the video for other sounds. But I think I queued this up for just vowels, so I'm going to hit play, and we can all repeat after the video as the sounds come up. Yengay, are you ready?
Uh.
Okay.
Yan hot
Starting with
lani.
the vowels are fairly straightforward.
Was there a question? Okay. I'm gonna make sure my volume's up. All right, here we go.
Words will move through them quickly. The most important things to remember are you have short vowels and long vowels. You have high tone and low tone, or no tone. The way that Tlingit handles these is very deliberate. Sometimes it's a matter of the verb form, sometimes it's a matter of the noun form, and sometimes it's just a matter of speaker preference or regional dialect type issues. So we'll start by moving through these, and then we'll talk about how they relate to one another.
Uh,
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 ah,
uh,
ah,
uh,
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 ah,
uh,
ah,
uh,
Uh.
eh,
eh,
Eh.
eh,
eh,
Eh.
a,
a,
A.
a,
a,
eh,
eh,
Eh.
eh,
eh,
a,
a,
A.
a,
Eh.
a,
eh,
eh,
Eh.
eh,
eh,
e,
E.
e,
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 E.
eh,
eh,
Eh.
eh,
eh,
Eh.
e,
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 E.
uh,
uh,
Uh.
uh,
Uh.
uh,
ooh,
ooh,
Ooh.
ooh,
ooh,
Ooh.
uh,
uh,
Uh.
uh,
uh,
Uh.
ooh,
ooh,
Uh.
ooh.
Ooh.
ooh,
Now we'll see the vowels that we just went through and how they can move from short to long, and how there may be a high tone or a low tone version. So as you study the language, pay attention to both of those things, and as you're starting off, exaggerate them. So make the long ones quite long, make the short ones quite short, the low ones fairly low, and the high ones fairly high. It also helps to have some sort of gesture or movement, lifting your hand or doing something to show the high tone. That way you'll start to train your body to respond to what it sees and what it hears as well. So moving on, there's another category which would call
Okay, we'll save diphthongs for another day.
dip. Starting with
Any questions on that video before we move on to some phrases?
I just want to let you know I'm going to be going at 1:30. So I want to watch the class. It's available on YouTube.
Yeah, are you talking about this class?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we record all these classes and then Lingit and Haida uploads them to their YouTube channel. And let me throw that in the chat really quick so that you can watch it. It's on the Lingit and Haida channel, and I'll just put their channel link in the chat. And I'll show you where to find it. So it usually takes a few days because they have to process the video and edit it, and they do a nice job, and just it won't be available immediately. But if you look on their YouTube channel, you can find their Hard Kill classes, and then ours is this one, Lingit. And they're all labeled by the date.
Okay, that sounds great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, pal. Pal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Everyone go ahead and repeat after me. Okay, Satine.
Okay, Akasatini.
And does anyone know what this one means? You can just shout it out if you know.
Yeah, K is good or
Good to
fine.
see you.
Yeah, okay is it is good. And the whole phrase means it's good to see you. So we're gonna break it down. I like to teach pronunciation by breaking it down and practicing each part. So let's go. So repeat after me. A.
Eh,
A.
Uh-huh. And I just remembered I have to change my sound setting. Otherwise, the pinched sounds don't come through because my mic clips. So let's do.
yeah, can you talk us through that really quick just to make sure like I'm on the same thing too?
Oh yeah. So if you are in your
Audio settings on the mic, right?
um it's gonna be the thing is called original sound for musicians. And let me see if I can find it. I
I
have
see.
it set so it's just at the top. Do you see it?
Now I found it, yeah. And
Okay.
then what under that?
Yes. Yeah. So the question is how to set up your Zoom so that your microphone doesn't cut out your ejective sounds. Some sounds like a pinched sounds or anything that's underlined in pinch will usually clip, meaning they'll just be a little bit too loud, and sometimes Zoom will automatically cut those sounds out and make it sound like it's silent. But you can turn on your original sound for musicians and it will not do that. It will let you all your sounds come through. So do you guys hear my pinched K when I say K?
Uh,
Okay. All right, good.
Oh,
Echo
Okay.
cancellation checked or the high fidelity music mode checked? When you hit the original sound for musicians radio button, there's like three other buttons under it.
Oh, are you in audio settings?
Yeah, the audio profile.
Okay, so let me look at it really quick. It's been a minute since oh yeah, I see the buttons. All I have is echo cancellation checked.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
All right, cool. Okay, so repeat after me, everybody. K.
Okay.
hey,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, good. What does this apostrophe mean when you see it next to a letter? Yeah, oh, wait, it's pinched. If you see an apostrophe after a K, then you pinch the K, meaning you make it sound snappier and sharper. And so one more time, repeat after me. A.
K.
Good. This vowel, is it short or long?
Can you share your screen again? Go ahead.
What? Oh, am I sharing my screen?
I don't see it.
Sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
Fake.
Goodness, cheese. Okay, can you see it now?
Uh,
Okay. Okay, so this vowel, is it short or long?
short.
This one is long because it's two letters written together. But and is
Trick
it high?
question.
Yeah, is it high tone or low tone?
Hi.
High tone. Good. Awesome. So we have a long, high A sound. In Lingit, we call it one vowel, even though it's written with two letters. It would just be a long vowel. Okay, one more time. Repeat after me. K.
A.
A.
Good. You sound good.
K.
Yeah. And the whole word, repeat after me. K.
Okay.
Yuck. A.
Good.
K.
Good. One more time. One more time. K.
K.
Yuck. A.
Good. You sound good. Okay, and the whole phrase. Satini.
K is Selene.
Satini.
Good. And it's okay if you guys talk over each other. I know that on Zoom, sometimes it'll cut one person in or out. For me, it's fine if everybody goes at the same time. I can still hear you. So let's break down the second word. Repeat after me.
Echo.
Good. A W, when you see it written in Tlingit, tells you to round your lips. So even if it's at the end of the word or right next to another sound like you pronounce the underlying X but round your lips and it'll make a different sound. And it's important that you round your lips because elders can hear the difference and sometimes you'll be saying a different word from what you mean if you don't. So let's do this again. Repeat after me.
Echo.
Well,
Good. And you don't have to voice it. You don't have to activate your voice box, but we can still hear the way the air is coming out of your mouth just from rounding your lips. It makes it a different sound. So one more time.
Echo.
Good. Perfect. Okay, we're going to add this SA, so repeat after me. Ichsa. Again, ichsa. One more time. Ichsa. Good. Tine.
Tine.
Good. Really good, Joel. Again, tine.
Tine.
And then one more time. Tine.
Tine.
Good. The whole word. Ichsatine.
Satine.
Good. Good. All of you guys sound really good. And the whole phrase, Yake ichsatine.
Yake Tine.
Yake.
Yakwe Iwasatine.
Close.
Wait, can
Let's
you
do.
say it again? Because I lost
Yep.
it.
Yeah, I got you. So let's go. Repeat it after me. Ich. Ichsa. Tine.
Tine.
Ichsatine.
Ichsatine.
Yake ichsatine.
Yake Iwasatine.
And again, yake satine.
Yake satine.
And one more time, yake satine.
Yake
satine.
Good. Really good. So if I use this phrase, am I saying it's good to see you? Am I saying that to one person or multiple people?
One.
Yay, away, just one person. And how do you know?
The I in the front.
Good. Okay. You guys are already familiar then. So this I in front of ich satine tells me I'm seeing it's good to see you. Just one person. I'm talking to you. It's good to see you. And so this is the you part that I saw you.
And if it was multiple people, it would be ich satine, right?
Yeah, away. Yeah, that's right. Really good. So if you're, like Joel said, if you're seeing multiple people, this would change to yi. So everybody repeat after me. Satine.
Satine.
And let's practice each part of this phrase. Yi.
Ye.
Ye.
Yi satine.
Ye.
Satine.
Good. Uh-huh. Yi satine.
Satine.
Really good. So these are our two phrases. Quick recap for it's good to see you, singular, just for one person. I put this S in brackets in the English side. And on the Lingit side, repeat after me. Yake satine. Good. And for it's good to see you all or multiple people, I put this P for plural in brackets on the English side. On the Lingit side, repeat after me. Yike satine. Yay, yike. So I just taught you how I say these phrases. Now I want you to be able to compare to an elder who grew up speaking Lingit as their first language. Anytime you're learning a second language, you're going to start out with something that's more of a textbook language version, which is what I teach. It's kind of a stepping stone from English into Lingit. And then we want to always be progressing to close that gap to sound like our elders. And so I'm going to show you. If you go to clinkitlanguage.com in beginning materials, you can scroll down, and I think we cover this a little bit on Tuesday, but this resource, repeat after me the title, Lingit Class. Okay, really good. That means hear it in Lingit. So it's a recording. Originally it was a CD. It's digitized on this website into audio files. So I'm going to open them up. And if you're not familiar, I'll show you how to navigate this. So you open the audio files. I just opened it in a separate tab here. And then you also want to open this written portion. So I'm going to open this now. And I forget what they call them in a CD in the book, in the cover. What did they call that? They think you could slide out and read it?
The dust jacket?
Always called it just the booklet. I mean,
Yeah.
The sleeve, maybe?
Maybe,
I don't know.
yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. That was a whole era. CDs were a whole era.
Is this something different with the Lingit?
Giving away our age. Oops. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, you were unmuted.
I'm just teasing. I knew I said it out. Cassette tape.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Cassette tape. God. I loved these because you could open up and read about the band and, all the lyrics. So yeah, this is the sleeve cover and tells a little bit about it. So, Kwatch, I heard you ask if this was the same phrases in Lingit, which is the phrase book. And to answer your question, this is based off the phrases in Lingit. There are some, not all of them are included, but a lot of them are the same. And then I just want to highlight the photo on the cover is of John Marks. It was taken by Richard Downhauer in 1980. So this is the photo cover we're talking about. This is Johnny Marks, and his Tlingit name is Kuteiktik. He is of the Tlukach Adi clan and is a child of the Chukanadi. John Marks provided many of the phrases for this project, as well as the reading of the Tlingit phrases on the CD. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight our speaker who put in all the hard work, got on the mic and recorded these for us, because this is such a valuable learning resource. When you go to listen to a phrase that you've learned in a book and you want to hear his pronunciation, you can open up this sleeve cover and look through for your phrase. The ones we just covered are Yake Satini and Yake Satini. So I'm going to scroll down. I think they're track 25. Yeah, track 24. And you can open up the corresponding audio file. So Greetings and Departures, track 24 on disc 1. I'm going to open the audio files and scroll down to 24. And this is just to give you guys an idea of how to navigate this resource. If you want to practice in your off time, that this is available to you. So I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to hit play, and I'm going to open up this so we can read along. This one's awkward because it's on 2 different lines, but I'll try to keep up with the scrolling. So the first phrase will be down here at the bottom, and then the second one will be up here. And we can go ahead and repeat after him. Okay. Yingei, are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, here we go.
It's good to see you.
Yik'e'eqsatini.
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 It's good to see you all.
Yik'e'eqsatini.
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 Yik'e'eqsatini. So did you guys hear how he adds the W, just adds it at the end of the ch? He doesn't say chwasa, but he goes yichsatine. Were you able to hear that?
It almost sounds like he's just saying Usatini a
Uh-huh.
little bit the most. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. Go ahead. Yeah, that's a good observation. When you add the W after the E, sometimes in your brain will be like, I think I just heard a U. And it's cool how these contractions take place. Yuchsatini. Yeah. Okay. Any other phrases on here you want to hear before we move on that you jump out at you?
How are you feeling?
How are we feeling? So that one is here. These ones are here. So we'll listen to track 25 and we'll just listen to all of them. So we'll go track 25. And
How are you?
Wasa'iyati.
Wasa'i.
Wasa'iyati.
Wasa'i.
How are you with a physical emphasis?
Wasa'iyati.
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 How are you emotional emphasis?
Wasa'itawati.
Wasaituati.
Wasitoate.
Wasaituati.
How are you feeling?
Wasashtitinuk.
Wasashtidin.
Wasashtitinuk.
Wasashtidin. How was that?
That was really interesting. The
Hey,
hey to a T.
Hmm.
That's, like the say, the SAI, uh, versus the Wasish Titinuk. I think that yeah, I would have missed that spelling there if someone had asked me to spell how that phrase went.
Mm-hmm.
The high tone A with the I was combined in a way I haven't, yeah,
Yeah,
seen before. Like they separate
yeah.
that out. Mm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like usually when we see it in our beginning to get workbook, it's there isn't that separation. That I is not kind of by itself.
Oh, that separation.
Mhm.
Yeah. In terms of the way it's spelled with no space here.
Mhm. Is it like kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
arbitrary or like what's going on there? It does sound different than definitely like we're learning it.
Yeah. So, okay, so there's a couple points there that you mentioned that are really good. The first one is the spelling. And so, as far as spelling goes, I do tend to stick with the spelling that's used in the beginning Tlingit workbook because as we learn more how to explain the grammar of Tlingit, the linguists collaborate and decide how to spell it to make sense so that the way you think about it in terms of the patterns correlate with the way it's spelled. And when this was made, the power of this resource is the pronunciation because speakers didn't need the grammar explained to them. They just knew it from internalizing the pattern their whole lives. So actually the way I use this resource as a second language learner is I use the spelling that's in the beginning Tlingit workbook, but I try to copy the pronunciation from speakers like Johnny who are in this resource. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Joel.
well, I just wanted to make a little side note about the term that we were using in the beginning of the Yake Ikhwasatimi.
Oh,
My former language mentor, David Katzik, Kingiste, when he
oh,
was alive, we we did some language stuff together, and one thing he said about this particular phrase, and I don't know exactly if it's I don't know if he was just trying to be funny, but he would say that like culturally this term has a different, more cheeky meaning behind it, which is essentially more like it's good to see all of you, as in your birthday suit kind of thing. So I've always been a little bit hesitant to use this particular phrase because I don't want to offend anybody. And so
yeah.
he would always use "Yake yat akhwat ke ni."
Oh,
It's
you
good to
okay?
see all of your faces.
Oh,
But
good.
I think that this particular term, might, I think more like the more common phrase is obviously "it's good to see you," but I just thought I would share that just as a little humorous aside that, it may have a double entendre, I guess.
Pronunciation. Gun,
Okay,
uh,
which way?
Gunatisha,
Uh,
Gunatisha Inkinigi. Thanks for sharing that with us. Kinge Stu was also one of my language mentors. I think I remember him saying that in class one time as well. And I really like the other phrase that you just mentioned, so let's add it in here. So the other alternative phrase would be, and I'm going to do a quick spell check, and it means it's good to gaze upon your faces. And I'm gonna look it up really quick to make sure I spell it right, and then we'll do the pronunciation. So new share. I'm gonna show my whole desktop so you can see how I pull up my dictionary. Let's do. So can you guys see my whole desktop now with the purple background?
Uh,
Okay.
you know.
What?
Oh, I just love that our language is like so warm sometimes compared to English. Like we just in English, like when we're talking to our people, like we would never say like it's good to see. Like I mean, I guess maybe, but like it just feels like such a comforting phrase, and like English can be so like in or like just very formal, and it's just I like the way that we talk. That's all.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really good. Thank you. Thanks for your words. I used this phrase this morning in my class, and my students don't know me that well yet, and I don't spend a lot of time explaining why I say things, but one of my greetings for them was and then I translated it after, said it feels good just to gaze upon your faces. And then I moved on, and I think they were kind of like, oh, neat. But it's just such a warmer, like you said, warmer way of greeting people that you see.
That's kind of a funny phrase. I tried to look at your face, parentheses, that is, to get a response from you.
I know. I love the dictionary. I have to be very careful when I open it up because I'll spend minutes and minutes in here just being distracted by all these neat side notes. Um, so I looked up this word أخوالقيني, and the first entry was from this كخوأقيا خلقيني. I tried to look at your face, that is to get a response from you. So this is actually, it appears in this entry that's actually for a different word, to attempt or to try, but it's in the example sentence. But I'm just looking for the spelling, and I always thought it was قيني, but it looks like it's قيني. But I'm gonna look for other appearances. I don't see one. And then the last place I like to look, I know this is a beginning class, and get verbs. And this resource I'm showing you is a good resource. I'm gonna look up gaze or okay, so the spelling, this is the verb database, and all the entries are listed by the verb root. And this is how I always knew it was Gein. Underline Gein. Yeah. And أودلقين أخوالقين. I didn't look at it. I'm seeing some examples. To say that it's good that I did it would probably be the perfective form. But we don't have a D. It's our version isn't plus D. So our exact word we want is not in the verb database. I was just doing a quick check there. I'm going to go with the one we found in the dictionary and use the spelling Gein. Depending on the dialect, some of the verb sounds will change. But for now, we're going to use the spelling. Okay, so let's practice the pronunciation. So repeat after me, just starting with the verb root and include this I suffix. Repeat after me. Mm-hmm. And then the W-A, Lingit L, wash. Mm-hmm. And then akhwash. And then the whole word akhwashqini. Mm-hmm. Yacht.
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 Mm-hmm. Yacht.
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 Uh-huh. Yacht a chulqine.
Yacht.
Yacht achwalgeni.
Good. And the whole phrase. Yik e yacht a chulqine.
Yacht. Achwachgene.
Good.
Yak yacht achwalgeni.
Good. Yeah, this is a really good phrase. Okay, so we practiced pronunciation, we listened to Lingit Class, and we learned this new phrase that could be said alternatively instead of these two. Um, the other thing, the other thing I wanted to mention was what you mentioned, K. Watch, when you were talking about the separation and something you notice when you listen to Johnny Marks versus what you might hear from like a, second language learner like myself, is that how quickly this and I'm not sure if this is what you were alluding to, but the wasaituati, the is very subtle, but you still hear it. I'm gonna play it one more time just so that we can all hear all these sounds again. 25.
How are you?
Waseiyate. Waseiyate.
How are you with a physical emphasis?
Wasesiyate. Wasesiyate.
How are you emotional emphasis?
Waseitowate. Waseitowate.
How are you feeling?
Wasashtitinuk. Wasashtitinuk.
Anyway, did you hear how in this one the was really subtle? Wasaituati. Yeah. So these are some of the little nuances we'll start to work on as we progress from textbook Tlingit to trying to sound like our master speakers. Any questions or comments on that?
This is the first I have this CD. It's actually the first CD I've bought in like 10 years. But I play it constantly when I drive from the valley to downtown. And
Uh-huh.
I didn't call you old, I promise. He just said 10 years. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
I'm teasing. I'm in my mid 50s, so I totally am not calling anybody old.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm 47, so it's been quite some time. The it's really great. I haven't actually seen how these would be spelled out, and so I have like a reaction. Like I've heard this so many times when I hear someone say, "How are you?" Physical emphasis, assist cheating or something like that. I am wondering about the spelling oftentimes, and then I'm also curious of like the way we learn these languages is by ear. It's not by spelling, and just maybe more helpful to learn it by ear, or is it really enforcing something when I try and learn the spelling? Not even really sure what I'm asking, but
Yeah, it's a good point because you learn by ear. When you're a child, you learn just all by hearing, and that's when you do your prime language learning. And you can train your brain to absorb language the same way. By the time we're adults, we're pretty literacy dependent. I've heard it described that way by linguists before because we get used to reading along and then writing things down to remember them, using a written reference for most things in our daily lives. And so uh, usually we'll get to a point where we need it written down and we need to see it in order to remember it. That's just the way our brains get used to remembering things. But I like what you said about like, does it matter? And my personal practice is focus on the pronunciation, listen and repeat and mimic. And that's your prime goal, is to internalize the way master speakers speak and repeat it and use it. When it comes to spelling conventions, where that becomes important is for people like us who are second language learner generation trying to become teachers of the language to keep it going. Uh, it helps to understand that we get to a point where we have to learn the grammar, and that's really writing heavy, and so it does help. And then I always like to have writing on the screen for my students, because my goal as a teacher is to make it the most accessible and most learnable for students. So for most of my students, it helps to have something written on the screen to follow along. Um, and as far as the which spelling conventions to use, so this orthography, or in other words writing system, was developed by the Dauenhauers, and it's thanks to them that the Tlingit language revitalization movement has come so far, because we can be, like Shirley was saying, in agreement on how to write the language so that we can have learning resources that are accessible to the entire community and that are in agreement with each other. If it comes down to spelling differences, usually between like the years, like I think this was published in 85, or what year? I forget what year, but mainly I'll double check the spelling with the dictionary and the beginning Tlingit workbook, just because I want to stay up to date with what all the head linguists and language councils are agreeing on together. So let me see if I see a tuati. Let's look at this in a dictionary. And this one looks like it's an agreement too, even though all those years passed between this dictionary, or that phrase book, and this dictionary. But tuati is its own word. Da tuati.
Right, and it's not in our workbook.
Oh, it's not in the workbook?
No. It's not a separate word in the workbook, I think, right?
Oh, let's see.
But anyway, we don't have to nerd out on that.
Yeah. This one is a separate word. So in this example sentence, I want to go to huna de chatuati. Instead of tuati for you, how do you feel? Talking about how I feel or what I want, and I'm saying chatuati, and it's a separate word. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And thank you for talking about the being literacy dependent. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's how it was described to me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because sometimes I kind of like, man, I should be learning this by ear, but then like these spellings are so helpful, and like, am I learning this backward? But being literacy dependent, like admitting that or acknowledging that is helpful. So just change.
Yeah, and then just being okay with it, and using your strengths to your advantage, and then working on your weaknesses later. That's what generally my language learning practice is. Okay, I know I'm good at these things. I'm going to rely heavily on them to get me going, get that momentum. And then if there's something that tends to be more of a challenge for me, having a relationship with that challenge, but working on it at your pace.
My reading comprehension is definitely better than my listening comprehension, I think.
Cool. Yeah, that's good to know about yourself, and to be okay with it, and then just always be working on both. Any other questions from this so far? This class flies by because, oh, we didn't do knock knock, guys. We're gonna be in trouble. We're gonna be in trouble on Tuesday. No, I'm kidding. This class always flies by because you guys have such good conversations in here. Any questions about the, I know we only have 4 minutes left, but instead of jumping into it and working on it, are there any questions about the knock knock that I can answer for you now? Have a good day, Derek.
No, we can't run through it. You're not going to do that?
I mean, we can if you don't have questions, then we'll just go ahead and do it because the extra practice doesn't hurt.
I had a
And we'll
question
just,
on the response. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm in Hawaii, so I'm very delayed. I was told in the last breakout room that I was really delayed. So I had a question on pronouncing the response portion of Canuck Clock, and then the portion that says Yannick arthritis teen. Could you say that line, please?
Yes. Yeah. So let's start with this word unique. Everyone go ahead and repeat after me. Just the sound, this KW. Repeat this after me. Good. Yes, exactly. You sound perfect. So this rounding of the lips happens at the end of the word, and it sounds just like you said it. So now let's say it at the end of ni. Repeat after me. Ni.
Ni.
Uh-huh. And then make sure this is high tone. Ni.
Ni.
Mm-hmm. So this whole word is repeat after me. Yanik.
Yanni.
And then arthritis teen.
Arthritis teen.
Yeah, and this tlak word, I need to check with Shirley. I was writing it the best I could in the moment. But repeat after me. Tlak. Yeah. This K might not be underlined. I might have misheard her, but I was writing down what I heard her say.
Okay.
And so we're going to go with this for now, but please be open to that. We might just change the spelling and pronunciation of this later. But repeat after me. Tlak. And then this word I know is correct. Repeat after me. Kunach. Good. Your X, your underlined X sounds perfect, all of you. The underlined K is like when you hear a raven going, "Kuk, kuk," and it's the same part of your throat that you're using, but for the K, you're just saying K. So repeat after me. K. Mm-hmm. And yeah, kunach. And let's do these two words together. Kunach tlak. And good. And yanik.
Yannick.
Good. Arthritis teen.
Arthritis.
teen.
Now take a breath and repeat after me the whole line. Just do your best. Konach tlak yanik arthritis teen.
Yannick.
Arthritis teen.
Good. How's that, Kua? Did that help? Okay. I'm jealous you're in Hawaii. Sounds pretty not bad.
No. Well, I came from negative 35 Denali, Healy area for 5 months of isolation. So I love anything over a 0.
Okay, yeah, you deserve it. I'm not mad anymore. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys, that's it for today. On Tuesday, we'll learn the next 2 lines of knock knock and we'll work on our pronunciation. But feel proud of you. Thanks for your work.
Goodness, cheesh.